factoids.com, which we hope you go to today, because we're going to put Ryno through a little true-false quiz. He even has his true-false paddle. Don't worry, if you're not able to watch, we will make sure that you stay engaged in the game as well. But it should be a lot of fun because we'll see how good he is at his... Because I would say you've got more Irish descent in you than maybe me. So by definition, you should be smarter in this area. Oh,
and it's not like I can Google because they have the sign in one hand and the other hand on the microphone button. So
true. And you wouldn't do that.
Nah.
You wouldn't do that anyway. But we'll give you a second to see if you know whether it's true or false or not. Okay, so first true or false question, Ryno. Everyone knows that St. Patrick was from Ireland, correct? True or false?
I mean, do I need to give him a second?
Oh, false. Sorry, I wasn't looking. Yes, correct. St. Patrick, you are correct, Ryno. It is false. St. Patrick was born in Scotland, even though he's considered the patron saint of Erin. So there you go. You can use this trivia later, too, at your St. Patrick's Day shindig. All right.
If I'm not mistaken, he was actually captured by Irish people and transported to Ireland against his will for years. And then when he escaped, he wanted to go back to preach to him.
Well, that was very kind of him to set them all correct. All right. Patrick, St. Patrick, was forced to go to Ireland as a slave when he was 16 years old. True or false?
I'm going to go with true on that one.
Yep, he was kidnapped by Irish pirates. You literally just set the stage for the next question, and obviously I wasn't paying that good of attention here on Good Things. Okay, another true or false question for Ryno. St. Patrick drove all the snakes out of Ireland. True or false?
As much as I want to say true, I think I'm going to have to go with false on that one.
I think I would actually get that one right. I mean, all the snakes, I mean, that's kind of a big leaning umbrella term. Nope, there were never any snakes in Ireland for him to drive out. Ooh, another reason to move there if things hit the fan here. This most likely is a metaphor to, let me see what the most likely a metaphor to represent Patrick driving out pagans out in that way. Why aren't there snakes in Ireland?
Well, I mean, it is an island and a pretty rough sea or ocean, depending on which side of the island you're on. And, they're just different parts of the world, different islands where different animals didn't flourish. Like there are certain parts of the world where you don't have lizards, but you have snakes. Ireland's a bit odd to not have snakes, but still have lizards. But, yeah, just weird little parts of the world just didn't get certain animals.
They've got to have some animal there that will make you not happy. There has to be spiders and ants and other crazy creatures. I mean, it is an island, so you could get eaten by things in the water. I mean, who needs snakes when you have sharks and other kind of and jellyfish and other things that can attack you? Okay, true or false, Ryno? Well, you kind of already answered this one too, but maybe you can guess it at home. Leprechauns are charming, jolly, mischievous elves.
True.
No, leprechauns from Irish mythology are mean and nasty. That's kind of mean, though. I mean, look, is it Post or Kellogg's? Can't remember. Who has the Lucky Charms cereal?
I have no idea.
Well, they did him a good PR scheme, right? When they said, no, we're gonna make him happy. We're gonna put him at the end of the rainbow. He's gonna have all the kids are gonna want his marshmallows. He's gonna be. Does he have a name?
Lucky?
Well,
that first thing that came to mind.
That was a good guess. I feel like I never really intimately got to know him, even though through all my years of eating Lucky Charms, you feel like, Tony the Tiger, Kermit the Frog.
Snap, Crackle, and Pop.
They all have names. So I just, and forgive me if he has one, and I just never assumed. I just always tried to pour out as many marshmallows as humanly possible I would have taken an entire bowl of just the marshmallows. You could have forgot the other.
Yeah, from the ceasefire text line. I was about to say, wasn't there a whole series of horror movies about leprechauns?
Oh, I think so. Probably so.
Called The Leprechaun.
Well, that's terrible. Okay, here's another one.
All right.
True or false, since we're on leprechauns. All leprechauns are male.
Yes, that's true.
It is true. Irish mythology never mentions female leprechauns. That's why they're all so cranky. Or you could say, they should be happy if they don't have to live amongst female leprechauns. Okay, the Irish have always considered wearing green to be lucky. True or false?
When you throw the word always in there, I want to go with false.
That is correct. It is not true. In fact, it was believed that those who wore too much green would be kidnapped by leprechauns. Look at all the stuff that you didn't know you needed to know about St. Patrick's Day. Again, I hope you're over at SuperTalk TV, where Ryno is flipping his true and false little, what do you call it? Paddle?
It could be called a paddle. You could call it a church fan.
Patrick in Louisville said same reason no polar bears are in Mississippi. That's fair.
Not conducive.
It's not conducive to the elements. I tell you what, I would have thought I'd have seen more than a leprechaun if I see a polar bear walking down one of the main streets here in Mississippi. Probably the same way whoever looked out their back porch and saw Ricky LaRue the first time, the kangaroo who got on loose. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? But that poor polar bear would never make it through one of our summers. They
wouldn't like the wintertime, let alone the summertime.
Right. They would bust through and find their way. I'm getting out of here. Absolutely. Andy and Jackson, moon stars and clovers in Lucky Charms. Moon stars and clovers are the marshmallows in Lucky Charms. But we're still trying to figure out if the little leprechaun man on the box, magically delicious, if he has a name. I feel like he needs to be named. He should have a name. All right, let's see. If you order an empirical pint of Guinness, you'll get 16 full ounces. True or false?
Empirical or imperial?
Well, that one.
And how many ounces?
16.
No, that's false.
You are correct. It is false. You'll get 20 fluid ounces. Man,
tricky. These are tricky. I'm having to pay really close attention.
You're paying attention to the words, though. Why didn't I get taught that in school where I could have answered more questions correctly?
Oh, that was like test taking 101. The first thing you do is see if the answer for an earlier question is later in the test. I can't tell you how many times I took a test in grade school, and like an answer for an earlier question was in the question later down the test.
Oh my gosh, just the mental math, like gymnastics would have to go to remember where that was, when, and how, and then makes me anxious. I would start second guessing everything. All right, here's one. The world's largest St. Patrick's Day parade is held in New York City. True or false?
I'm going to go with false and guess Chicago.
You would be incorrect. It is true. And actually, they were holding their first one in 2 or 3 years today in New York, and it was set to set records of attendance because it's been withheld for so many years thanks to the pandemic and all the things there. I wonder if Chicago has like the world's largest. I don't think of parades when I think of Chicago.
I just think of a big party because they dye the whole river green. I mean, they pour out big boxes of green dye, and it dyes the river for their parade.
Well, that's fun. I think of New Orleans for Mardi Gras. I think of New York for What other parades?
New York has the Canyon of Champions or Canyon of Heroes or whatever it is, the big wide street between the skyscrapers where you had all the ticker tape parades in days gone by. Although I still think they do ticker tape parades. They're just not as big a deal as they once were.
Speaking of parades, on the C Spire text line, someone did ask about the Howe's St. Patty's Day Parade. It will be the 37th annual, and it is happening the 26th. So it's not this weekend. It will be one more weekend, which made the Sweet Potato Queen, the St. Patty's Day Parade did here or legendary, should I say. I've really appreciated all the music today, Ryno.